Question says, suppose the market for cars is unregulated. That is, car prices are free to adjust based on the forces of supply and demand. If a shortage exists in the car market, then the current price must be blank than the equilibrium price. For the market to reach equilibrium, you expect blank. So let's draw this out. We have a car market. We have our demand and supply. That's a P. That's a D. And so they're free to adjust. If a shortage exists in the car market, what does that mean? A shortage means that there's too much demand, not a supply. Immediately you know that the price is going to be below equilibrium because there's this high quantity demanded and this low quantity supplied, and this is a shortage. The current price must be lower, right? Lower than the equilibrium price at P star. And we know that for the market to reach equilibrium, we know that this is an unregulated market, that we expect the price to increase until it reaches the equilibrium point once again. So this is our graph and understanding. So the answer would be lower and then increase. So the next question, the previous tutor's answer says, if a shortage exists in the car market, then the current price must be lower than the equilibrium price. For a market to reach equilibrium, you expect buyers to offer higher prices, right? So pricing, you expect increase in price. The explanation that they give is that prices below the equilibrium generate excess demand because buyers are willing to purchase more cars than sellers are willing to sell, i.e. the quantity supplied is less than the quantity demanded at that price. Some buyers who wish to purchase cars at the current price will be unable to do so. In order to obtain them, some buyers will offer higher prices. As buyers bid prices upwards, some sellers will be willing to sell additional cars. Thus, the market will move towards the equilibrium quantity, whereas the quantity of cars demanded by buyers, where the quantity of cars demanded by buyers equals exactly the quantity supplied by sellers. Great answer, really touches upon the important points, and we mark that as correct. The next question says, we do not see complete specialization in the real world because 1, not all goods and services are traded internationally. Production of most goods involves increasing opportunity costs, and tastes for products differ. 2, not all goods and services are traded internationally. Production of most goods involve constant opportunity costs, and tastes for products are remarkably uniform. 3, not all goods and services are traded internationally. Production of most goods involves decreasing opportunity costs, and tastes for products differ. 4, all goods and services are traded internationally. Production of most involves increasing opportunity costs, and tastes for products are remarkably uniform, right? And so in this case here, dealing with a situation where we have basically 3 factors to consider as reasons why we don't have complete specialization. So quickly, what do we mean by complete specialization in the real world? So when we break this down into like a two good model or international trade model between 2 countries, complete specialization would be if a country were to direct all of its resources towards the production of one good, and another country produces all of its resources to the production of another good, and then they trade and get kind of goods from each other to reach a higher bundle. And so that would be complete specialization, dedicating yourself to only producing one kind of good. Whereas semi-specialization would be that you orient a lot of your resources towards one type of good, but you're still producing other goods at a lower level. And you're trading to get more of the other goods, but you don't completely specialize, where you are kind of taking away all of the resources from other goods and directing them just towards one kind of venture. And so let's break this down into the 3 categories given by the answer choices, which is trading goods internationally, opportunity costs, and tastes. So for internationally, what does international trade have to do with specialization? Well, we know that specialization actually only occurs for goods in which there is international trade, because otherwise you'd be unable to produce or access goods that you are not producing yourself. And in that sense, specialization in one type of good is wasteful because you'd probably prefer to have more of a range of goods to choose from, right? And so specialization only occurs for goods in which there is international trade. And so a reason we might not see complete specialization in the real world is because there are some goods which are not traded internationally. So that would be our first criteria. Second, there's this idea of opportunity cost. Is it constant? Is it increasing or decreasing? And we know that if we look at the production possibilities frontier, for example, that this curve of the production possibilities frontier is because there's increasing opportunity costs. That as we produce more and more of one good, we're increasing the amount of trade-off we get of producing other goods. And so we know the opportunity costs are increasing, and we know that we have the largest opportunity costs when we completely specialize, because we're all the way on one side of the spectrum rather than in this bowed area where you could have a mix of goods. And so if you go all the way to one spectrum of the good, then it would be incredibly hard for that type of opportunity cost to be worth it, right? And so increasing opportunity cost is another reason we wouldn't really see complete specialization. And finally, tastes for products. How does that impact the type of goods that are produced? And we know that it might be the case that we cannot access all of the goods we want from trade alone. Like, there are certain goods that we must produce ourselves, and so in that sense, it doesn't make sense to forego production of goods that we have very strong tastes for in favor of goods we have weaker tastes for, just for simply the sake of trade, because we wouldn't be able to access the most efficient or highest consumption bundle that we would want. And so tastes for products are also different. And so we want to look for an answer choice that combines those three factors together. The idea that not all goods and services are internationally traded, the idea that there are increasing opportunity costs, and the idea that there are different tastes for different goods in the real world. So let's take a look at the different answer choices. I think answer choice 1 already makes that pretty clearly the right answer. Not all goods and services are traded internationally. Production of most goods involves increasing opportunity costs, and tastes for products differ. Right, so 1 is going to be the right answer here. And the previous tutor also said 1, and they said that the theory of comparative advantage advocates specialization in the production of goods and services. An economy can produce at a lower opportunity cost than others, such that the surplus of the same can be traded with other economies for goods and services in the production of which the economy in consideration is at a comparative advantage. This is encouraged such that scarce resources are put to their best use and benefit is maximized when in trade. However, complete specialization is never achieved, as not all goods and services find a demand in the international market. An economy is hence compelled to produce certain goods and services exclusive to its culture. At the same time, there are increasing opportunity costs in the production of most goods. This prevents absolute substitution of resources for the production of a certain baskets of goods and services. Tastes for products differ according to numerous factors inherent in different countries. All of these reasons prevent complete specialization collectively. Okay, that's a good answer, and we're going to mark that as correct.